ladies and gentlemen, at this time we're going to have some speeches for our newlyweds. So I believe up first we have our best man, David. So please give him a little love out here.
Thank you, thank you. I'll be nice. I'm so honored to be Scott's best man here today. We met a dozen years ago when I moved to Green Bay. We shared apartments that were just, 2 doors down from each other. We were at the fitness center. I saw him on the treadmill. He's going pretty fast, so I bumped it up a couple steps per mile per hour. And I look over and he's going a little faster. After we got done with the workout, I said, hey, want to go for a run sometime? We did, and it was the start of a beautiful friendship. I've gotten to know Scott a lot. We've traveled the country together, run races together, gone to a Super Bowl together, had all sorts of fun times together. But the happiest I've ever seen Scott is after he met Kayla, his beautiful bride. And I was trying to think of words to describe Scott and who he is and what he means to me and everyone who knows him. And it's funny because you had it in the verse today. Love is patient, love is kind. No true words describe Scott. I don't think I've ever seen Scott really angry. Myself, I'm guilty. I get angry from time to time. About as mad as I've seen you is when you miss about 3 2-foot putts in a round of golf. That's about it. And you don't even get mad at that. And I know that your love, your kindness, and your patience will serve you well in your marriage with Kayla. And I can't wait to see the life that you two lead together and be by your side as your best man from today moving forward. And in all the races we've run together, we've run 5Ks, we've run marathons. No, I have not run a 100-mile ultra marathon with this man. But she will for the rest of your lives together. We have run relay races together. And it's been my pride to share those with you. Those are a lot of fun as a team. And we've handed the baton, so to speak, off to each other from time to time in Ragnar's in California or the Fall 50. But now it's time for me to hand the baton off as best friend to Kayla, and you'll run this race as a team for the rest of your lives. And I can't think of anyone who could possibly make Scott happier than Kayla, and I hope that you have the most wonderful life together.
All right. So, I'm Allie, or some of you know me as Alyssa. I'm Kayla's littlest sister. Thank you all for taking the time to be here today and enduring the heat outside. So growing up, Kayla was always my favorite parent. My greatest role model and biggest advocate. With her being 9 years my senior, we'd occasionally be mistaken for mother and daughter when we'd venture out on our frequent errands together. Kayla would pick me up from school and bribe me with a candy bar to go with her to the store, the public library, and the retail hellscape that is Kohl's. These were her hot spots back in the day, but for me as a child, it wasn't my first choice for an after-school activity. Though I often resented my role as her designated errand buddy at the time, looking back, those were some of my favorite memories with her. As you might have gathered from her choice of extracurricular, Kayla has a taste for the mundane. An affinity for the simple things in life. She'd read the dictionary for leisure and even became an accountant. But those of us lucky enough to know Kayla beyond her somewhat reserved exterior know that she's anything but boring. Her boisterous laugh and unrelenting sarcasm add so much light and joy to the family dynamic. Kayla is the funniest person I know, and I credit her for my own sense of humor and personality. She truly was the blueprint. Another trait that you should know about my sister is that she is fiercely nurturing and protective. Over the years, she'd chew out any friend, foe, or guy that ever wronged me. Non-confrontational in every other circumstance, but ready to throw hands if someone mistreats her baby sister. Not only does she advocate for me, but she's also my biggest supporter and protector, and only person with my location on Find My Friends. One of her favorite pastimes is to study my whereabouts. And now on to Scott. Scott always, Scott always makes an effort and seems to even enjoy spending time with my family. I'm ashamed to admit he attends more family functions than me at this point, and I live in my parents' home. Scott has a gift for making others feel comfortable and important, and I think this is why Kayla is her most authentic self around him. I've never seen Kayla be more unapologetically herself than when she's around Scott. I'm so glad she found someone who can fully appreciate and match her hilarious, nurturing, and intelligent personality. I'm also glad that Scott not only tolerates, but secretly enjoys Kayla's habit of giving obscure nicknames to every person and animal she meets. Even their stuffed animal collection isn't safe from Kayla's name game. Yes, Kayla and Scott have a shared stuffed animal collection that's quite literally taking over their living room. I hope someday soon Scott lets Kayla get a real dog. Seeing as she already treats our family dog like he's her firstborn child, I think if she had a puppy or perhaps a child of her own someday, she would never let it out of her sight. Kayla is the glue and the matriarch of our family. She's the uniting, sorry mom, she's the uniting force and was the first family member to start saying, I love you. Maybe it's cheesy, but I think it's because she realized how precious our relationships are with one another and that we'd be fools not to say I love you whenever we have a chance. So with that being said, Kayla, I love you. Scott, I love you, and most of all, I love the two of you together. I'm so happy to have another brother, and I know that I can count on both of you to always be supportive and loving to your loved ones and to each other. So raise a glass and toast to Kayla and Scott.
I'm Steve Andrews, Scott Andrews' dad, and he asked me this morning if I would say a few words. So I've known Kayla for several years, and Scott, and I think they're a perfect match. I think their habits, kindness they share to one another is unbelievable. So I'm very proud of Kayla and Scott. Very nice people. Thank you to the Simons for hosting the party last night at their home, and to the Andrews for making the trip out here from Nebraska. So I was asked not to talk too long because everybody wants to dance, and but I decided that I would tell one story, and people are amazed that I tell stories because I'm only supposed to listen, my occupation. I'm not supposed to tell any stories, but I use stories to tell on people. But anyway, when Scott was 16, 17, he decided that he wanted to get a car, a BMW. So we came over here to Appleton, and he picked one out at the BMW place. And he had saved his money for 5 years, all in $1 bills. So he buys this used BMW, and he brings in all his money in $1 bills, and he lays it down on the table. And the guy looks at him and he says, "We've never had anybody bring cash." And he proceeds to count out $16,000 in $1 bills. Well, the only other time I've seen Scott like that in my life is when he met Kayla and decided that he was going to ask Kayla to get married. And so you can just imagine how many dollar bills he counted Anyway, I'd like to have a toast to Kayla and Scott, and welcome the Simons into our family. And, so a toast, please, everyone.
Test. I just want to thank everybody for coming today on both sides of the family. Kayla and I are very happy that you're all here to share this with us. And I'm extremely happy that Kayla's my bride. Yeah. And we want you all to enjoy yourselves tonight. And it's so special, everybody coming together, whether it's our friends or family from all over the U.S. It means an incredible amount to me. So thanks for coming.
All right. We're going to invite our newlyweds at this time to come cut their cake. So if you guys want to come on over here, we're going to do a little cake cutting, grab some dessert. And if you guys like, we're going to get dessert started, finish up some dinner, grab some drinks, and then we're going to have our first dances and all that good stuff in just a little bit, and our photo booth will be open. So. I think you guys still got one. There you go. Yep, you got it. There you go.
Okay, like I mentioned earlier, that the introduction in the beginning was not the full speech here. It's not really a speech, it's an extended toast, so don't get too worried here. I'd like to thank everyone for coming here today. It really means a lot to me and my family that you're all here today. I'd like to thank everyone who was involved in the planning of this event, everyone at the front table here, the people from Poplar that were great throughout this whole thing, and especially my wife Lori, who logged a lot of hours on this event. As I mentioned earlier today that I didn't do a lot of planning, but I deserved a lot of planning. It was happening all around me for about a year. Okay, turn our attention to the bride. One of the things I admire most about Kayla is her dedication to our family and our family traditions. She's the one that keeps tabs on what everyone's doing, and then she calls me in so I'm not out of the loop. I know what's going on. She keeps track of everyone's birthdays, half birthdays, the dog's birthday, anniversaries. Always calls me in advance so I don't miss anything. So I'm starting to plan it out. And one of the things, my favorite tradition with Kayla is that about a week before Christmas, we go shopping for my wife Lori, her Christmas gift. She plans out the event, where we're gonna eat. She invites her sisters, make sure theirs there. She talks to Lori, find out what she wants. Then she proceeds to investigate where you can find it the cheapest and where the coupons are. It's kind of a WASIC thing, but it carried over. But then so I really enjoy that tradition we have. And now that you and Scott are together, you'll be able to start your own family traditions. And Scott, I'd like to welcome you to the family. A great addition. We've had two great additions this year. My first grandson, Nolan, and then Scott. So we gained a couple this year. So I'd like to have everyone raise their glass, toast to Kayla and Scott. May you love, cherish, respect each other for the rest of your lives. And welcome again to Scott and Kayla Andrews. Cheers.
Tried to make it Sunday, but I got so damn depressed that I set my sights on Monday, and I got myself undressed. I ain't ready for the altar, but I do agree there's times when a woman sure can be a friend of mine. Will I keep on thinking about can't make it.